What's the motherfucking deal? Even though I forgot to update my damn thumbnails out, I'm thinking about it, rushing to doing everything else, but it's all Gucci. We can fix that on the back end. We'll see who's gonna come through and fuck with some of the flavor this evening. Let me pull the chat up. I guess that helps too. Yeah, that's what we want. And pop that out. Wise, what's the motherfucking deal? Let me see. Pop out the chat. I'm getting everything in order here. Oh shit! What's happened to what happened to Tenny? Oh man, he disappeared on me. Let me see what happened here. While we getting things in order, we jumping off a little bit later than expected. I need to throw up. I forgot to put the HTOWN Sports tonight up. Rodney, what's the damn deal? Let me see what's going on here. I got Mr. Tenny in the mix, but for some reason the phone call ended. Let me cut that audio off so y'all ain't got to hear all that shit. Rick James, Wise, Rodney, Brandon, what's the motherfucking deal? I'm glad y'all all could fall through this evening as we trying to get everything in order here. I'm trying to see what happened with the Skype call on the why it fell off. I had Mr. Tenny in here with me, and we're gonna talk a little bit. Okay, there we go. Okay, it's all good, all good. No, they ain't tripping. They ain't tripping. All right, let's let me get this back for you. All good. Let me see. Let me realign the video here. I don't know what happened to it. There we go. Okay. All right, yeah, we got Mr. Tenny back in the mix. What's good, Wink? What's the motherfucking deal?
What's going on?
What's the deal? Yes, sir. Tenny Thursday. It was supposed to be Tuesday. I got to fucking off and do it too much, but so definitely a Tenny Thursday. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna go live, get fresh in the sauce. Finally back in the HTOWN Sports studios, and it feels good. So I ain't got to worry about the motherfuckers popping in the background and shit. So you know we can get the sauce stirred up like we supposed to. So, like I say, we you know how we do. When we start off, man, make sure y'all shout out where you from. If you're not from the city, make sure you shout out what city you're from. If you want to rep your state, whatever you want to rep, country, you know, we have some international folks that fall through. But if you are from the city, make sure you shout out your side so I can show y'all some love, man. We already know we got Texas City Tenny in the mix. Like you like
Yes, sir.
Toxic City. Okay. You said y'all see JJ won some award for being an angel. What's like Comanche, Texas? Okay, Arkansas.
Oh, damn.
That's it, man. Yeah, I saw people just get awards for all kind of shit nowadays, man. Like they just giving them out. I'm trying to give me an award for something. Shit.
I know, right?
Yeah, make me
Maybe a little award money come with that too.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Like I say, so it's all Gucci. Houston Ryan, what's the motherfucking deal? Northeast, what's shaking? What's good, real Texas fan? So, man, yes, sir. Yes, we got to listen to all of the songs. I didn't end up listening to the whole album after that, but I did. I checked out those songs, and that's that classic Devin. That boy, that room. What is it? 8216. That shit there was wild. That's some old Devin shit for real, man. I get the award for worst season prediction. I take that shit. Yeah, my shit was completely off guard, so I definitely apologize for that shit because I was saying 16-0. He said 16-0. That shit was not shaking. All right, fourth ward in the mix. Okay, I'm getting some buffer action going on. All right, let me see what we got going here. If we can tighten that up, I may have to start lowering down the frame per second. That might start helping. But so like I said, we're gonna get in the mix, man. We're gonna slide in. We're gonna slide in, talk about a few things. You know, there's a few things. We're about the Rockets game tonight. I can't forget about that. That shit in about an hour or so. They're gonna be taking on the Jazz. We got the 49ers this weekend, which should be pretty interesting. And then, like I said, as far as that, everybody else, you know, is on vacation. Is you got the Dynamo, they're out the playoffs. You got the Astros, they still shining the trophy. You know what I mean? So yeah. Oh yeah. I checked out the whole acoustic level station. I listened to them in the order that you shout them out, and then I listened to the whole thing. So that whole jam, that do you want to get? What is it? Do you want to get high like I do? You love getting high? Yeah, that's what that whole was jamming. But like I say, so we're gonna talk about the Texans for a little while, man, and a few things that are going on interesting this week. You know, they got to talking about Cushion a little bit today, and I think that and the return of Will Fuller should be the hot topics. How do you feel? Do you feel that Will Fuller coming back gives us an advantage, or do you feel like Savage doesn't still quite know how to utilize him. You think I feel like he hangs him out there to dry a little bit, and so I don't think he capitalizes on what Will Fuller brings. But I mean, I'd like to know your opinion on the return of Brian Cushing and Will Fuller.
Yeah, as far as Will Fuller goes, man, I hope Savage don't hang him out to dry. But yeah, you're right there, man. I mean, Savage, he just doesn't make good decisions. He throws the ball at in opportune places for the defense to hit our wide receivers just in bad positions. He doesn't lead them out with the ball the right way. Like I think you saw in the last game with DeAndre, it was an easy first down that they could have picked up, but he threw it away from DeAndre Hopkins, and it was like he had to stretch out there. And DeAndre's a big, tall, skinny dude, and you saw his arms reach out there.
Yeah.
And if a defensive player would have been on that end, he'd have got knocked out the game. He'd have caught a concussion real quick.
Oh yeah, that's what I say. That's an issue that I have with Savage. Like I say, I feel like he's getting a little bit better. I feel like of course that last game might have been his best game, but I just feel like he leads receivers into trouble. Like I blame him for the Will Fuller injury because, like I said, just he puts it where they get set up. Matter of fact, who was that? Who's the guy from the Steelers? Was it from the Steelers? Who kind of went on that rant earlier, and he was talking about, I signed up to play full speed football and
yes.
all that, and that's kind of how I feel, that these guys know what they signed up for. But Savage, he was talking about who was it? He was talking about Dalton. He was talking about how Dalton had said Eifert was a Tyler
Eifert.
Yeah, and he said set him out there, and basically he goes for the dive. What can I do midair? How can I change my body positioning? And that's something that, I mean, it to me, like I say, as a former guy that I love defense, I feel like that's on the quarterback. It's impossible when you're playing defense, man. It's pure reaction. You may have a scheme, you may have you come out in a particular play, but you have to react to what the offense is doing for that to be successful. And like I say, it doesn't take much, and I think these offensive guys know it, that if they, go down in a certain way, they're more likely to get a favorable call.
They practice that. They practice for favorable calls. Mm-hmm. Like when it comes into positions where they got to go deep down the field, they want one-on-one matchups or they want double teams, and they'll throw it to that wide receiver because they know that wide receiver will draw a penalty.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's why most of the time you always see them. They throw their hands up, they look around because they're selling the penalty.
Exactly.
They want to sell that penalty. It's across the league. We do it. Everybody does it.
Yeah, absolutely. But man, my thing about that is that might be another one of those potential problems. The league is facing a lot of issues. Across the board. I mean, this may be like overall, I don't want to say just because we had a bad year, but I'm just saying for the NFL brand, this may have been the worst year for the NFL brand. You got to think about, you have the president attacking, you have, left-wing people saying, well, I'm not fucking with y'all because of the Kaepernick situation. You got right-wing people saying, well, you got all these guys still kneeling, so I'm not fucking with you. You got the players complaining because of the calls. You got all these injuries that are taking place that's making the product on the field less watchable. Like I said, it's just all around. They're going to have to do something, because what it was, I feel like, was that they had gotten content knowing that no matter what, people wanted NFL football and they were watching. But now they realize, hey, there are factors that can come into play that can fuck up this product. And if we don't tighten up, then we're going to have some issues real soon, real quick. And so, like I said, I think they have to do some things.
I mean, you just take account to some of the injuries some players have taken this year. A lot of the big injury right now has been concussion for us outside of, our big star players, tearing a pec, or fracturing his leg, the ACL tear on his left leg. All our big players, they kind of got hurt in their own special way. But as far as everyone else, it's been a lot of concussions. Yeah. It's been a lot of and I think it goes back to what you were saying. I mean, how do you change your body when you're going in for it? Yeah. I think if some of these defensive players were just to go at the tackle like they usually would, we wouldn't be seeing these concussions like we do.
No, because that's what it is. You're in a position now, and like he was saying, it's almost like you got to ask, hey, is it okay if I hit you? But it's hard to contort. It's hard to do all this stuff, because in your mind, that split second of hesitation does two things. It can make you, like you say, you have to adjust on the tackle, so you're kind of getting into a more uncomfortable position. A lot of these guys weren't taught to tackle like that, and and then, like I said, that also gives the offense, eventually, when you hesitate for that second to think, well, am I hitting it proper? I don't want to get this flag, or am I doing that? That gets you beat. You know what I mean? And I feel like it's much harder to play defense right now. And just like old buddy said, hey, I signed up to play full contact football. I think you say, hey, fuck all this concussion shit. Okay, at this point, okay, here's the evidence. Here's what we know. okay, so if you guys want to still continue playing football, here's the legal liabilities that are going to come along with it. We're going to absolve ourselves of this shit. Do y'all still want to collect that check? Or are y'all going to go find another career? If I think you lay it out there like that, fuck how the fans feel, fuck all that extra shit, the league would have done the best thing, to me, in my opinion, for them to be, would have said, hey, okay, we do know that concussions cause these type of situations. It has the CTE, it has this, it has this. But what other situation are you willing to risk? Get millions and millions of dollars with a skill set. I think a lot of guys would still do it. Of course, there may be a couple, I care about my health and all that. But then you got a couple of guys that say, man, I could go back to where I came from, and it's not so good that way. Or I could take some risks and provide for my family for the future.
That's my point exactly. I mean, you got dangerous jobs all across the United States. Dangerous jobs from West Coast to East Coast to the Third Coast to up north. I mean, there's dangerous jobs everywhere in between. But people still do them because they get paid to do them. And like a lot of these dudes say, they get paid the king's ransom to play a child's game.
Exactly.
And a lot of those guys understand it, and they don't have a problem putting their body on the line. You take, to use one of our players, for example, J.J. Watt.
Yeah.
He gave us 5 good years, and he's suffering 2 years of injury because he puts his body on the line. I think a guy like that understands, you got to put your body on the line to try to be great.
Yeah.
And you got to put your body on the line to get $100 million check.
Exactly.
And I think everybody else understands that. And, I was just watching the game earlier with the Falcons and the Saints.
Yeah.
And there was some bullshit roughing the passer call on Matt Ryan. The dude didn't even, he was within 2 steps, pushes him on the shoulder. Matt Ryan falls to the floor, and they throw a flag on it.
Yeah.
It's just this overprotection that's going on right now. And, I'm on Juju's side right now with that fucking sweet-ass block.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That was not helmet to helmet. I can tell you, if you go back and look at the highlight, there's one highlight cut out there that's like 51 seconds.
Yeah.
If you stop it at 6 or 7 seconds, you can see Juju's shoulder in Burfict's chest.
Oh, man.
That was just peel back block.
Because I think I was in the den and somebody told me about it. We were doing a Kush den, and I went and I watched it live in the den. I said right then, I watched it full speed. I was like, nah, that's clean. I take that all day. And that's like, say, as a person, like I say, as a defensive player or whatever, hey, what did they teach you? Head on a swivel. If you out there running around naked like it's just ain't nothing going on, you're going to get your fucking clock clean. And that's just what's going to happen. You ain't have his head on a swivel. He was focused on his target, and he got laid out. I had no problem with that. I thought, hey, that's an excellent job by Juju. You know what I'm saying? That's what the fuck you're supposed to do. That's how you're supposed to. I'd like to see tough receivers. That's what the fuck I want to see from a player, So I saw somebody say something, and I want to know how you feel about it. I heard some mentions of it. I don't think I have an opinion just on it either way, but I got to think about it for just a second. But they said, how would you feel about expanding the roster from the 53 to 60?
Oh, I'm for it. I'm for it, man. You look at the system right now and how it's built. 53 men are active on your roster, 53. But then you can only bring so many into the game. Yeah. So you're looking at on average 7 to 8 players not active during game day. If you were to bump it up another 8 players, another 7 players, that's going to help these teams stay a lot more healthy, give them a lot more options, and keep them keep the player progression groomed a little bit better. And first and foremost, these young, how does it? I forgot I added it up one time. There's like a little over 2,500 players in the league active at any given moment, from practice squad to active roster and whatnot. You think about it. There's a lot of young men playing collegiate football, and they don't get their shot. No. They kind of get passed over because you got to keep the train keeps moving. Mm-hmm. Giving them job opportunities would be great, because there's a lot of unsung talent that goes off into the Canadian League, goes into the AFL or whatever the hell that is. Then you look at overseas and how it's growing. It would really give a lot of opportunity to cut a lot of these injuries. Yeah. I'm telling you, man, if you have more people subbing in and out, that gives these teams better opportunities. And it's not a bad thing. We have 16 game seasons, 17 weeks. Then you go straight into the playoffs. No break for some teams, because they go into the wild card game, then they go into the division game. And if they can make it into the championship game, I'm all for a larger roster. All for it.
Yeah, I definitely see that. Like I said, I hadn't looked into the particulars, but I definitely would agree with that. That nothing hurts with having more talent available, and especially in some of the situations we've been in. We get whittled down to one receiver and one tight end like last game, and then you have those guys across the division really feeling like they did something and awarding themselves and patting themselves on the back for beating basically a second tier preseason team. But it is what it is. You know, a win is a win, a loss is a loss, and you got what you got. But I was going to say something, but we were talking about like old school football with these injuries and these things like that, and how that ties into it. Man, I have a thing like I don't really like, I would call Tom Brady the greatest for whatever he did because it's a new style of football. But these guys nowadays, how you mentioned Matt Ryan in that situation, would not last when boys were playing real football. Those quarterbacks stood in the pocket. They took those motherfuckers. Them motherfuckers used to get choke slammed and fucking clothesline, beat the fuck up, get up the next play, don't cry about it, and make fucking plays. To me, that was football. Now you got this fucking halo around anybody on offense. You give this leverage to the offense and make it a lot easier to play the game on offense because, of course, the league wants points under the guise of player safety, but that's not really true. We're going to say, okay, so if it's easier to score on offense, people are going to watch more. People like to see points. I mean, we can use Deshaun Watson, for example. You've never seen that many people from across the country, all over the place, paying attention to the Houston Texans in that nature because he was putting up points. Points attract eyes, and that's what people want to see. So, and I think that's kind of part of the reason why the league did that. I think it's fucked off for defensive players because I think that in the long term affects their money,
Yeah, it really does.
And then, too, like I say, it just makes it overly difficult to play the game, and it makes the game not as appealing as it should be. Now,
there's like a yin and yang with that right there because I don't know if a lot of people remember this. I'm 30 years old, but I grew up watching them Looney Tunes tapes with the commentary on the football games. Yeah. Like I would pop the VHS in and I watched that. I watched old football players, old football games, and it's got like Porky Pig on there and shit, and they're fucking commenting and making silly little jokes about how hard people getting hit. Yeah. The yin and yang with that is back then they didn't have the drafting analysts like we do now. So everybody's bigger, faster, stronger. And the yin and yang is just trying to keep these players into a longevity of playing 10 to 12 years. Because if they played like that back in the day, if any of these guys, I mean, it'd be 5 years and you're done. Yeah. Your body wouldn't be able to take it.
Yeah. Especially with everybody being bigger, faster, stronger like they are now. Those guys back then, they were just, more natural athletes. You had, some guys worked out there, but now it's motherfuckers are trained from fucking 4 or 5 years old since they can carry a ball to, okay, well, we gonna put you in this program. We're going to try to get you into the league or whatever it is. But it was funny how you're talking about old things because about the old games and stuff. And I say, how it's funny how the league moved away from that because they used to sell those fucking those hard hit highlights, and that used to be like a thing the end of the year, all the fucking hardest hits in the NFL, and I used to watch the fucking 100 hardest hits, all that shit. But now, like I say, you won't find that shit. The NFL has moved away from, they don't want to brand nothing of that shit. It's all about, get it. Exactly, all about catches and and all that other stuff now. Who had the nicest catch? And I mean, they don't show. I mean, when it comes to, you don't even really see ESPN showing motherfuckers get hit hard unless it's a situation like the Juju situation or something that where somebody gets injured. You know what I mean?
When it's controversial, they'll show it because they know everyone wants to know about it. But outside of that, like the average hits that you'll see, they won't show it. And like, was it a few years ago when we played the Seahawks? The last 4 years, Brian Cushion ran up the middle, popped a fumble loose on what's his name, Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah.
And you could barely find that clip anywhere. I mean, it's kind of like pushed out to the side. Don't nobody bring that up. No. But I mean, like the big hits, the big sledgehammer hits, they don't show those in highlights. Not even when they're talking about players. Like especially like when they talk about J.J. Watt or when they talk about a star defensive player for some other team, they don't bring up the big hits. They bring up the capabilities of getting into the backfield. They bring up their numbers and put up a little picture. They don't show the highlight reel like they used to.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, 1 second, I'm sending this little message here trying to get that out the way. Okay, cool. But yeah, man, like I say, and you're not lying, man. Like all that shit and that's what I say. That's what originally attracted me to football. But when I first started playing, I just had a bunch of aggression. I want to hit motherfuckers. I can hit somebody and not get in trouble for this shit. Hell yeah, I want to play this shit. I used to be trying to play basketball. I fouled out every fucking game. Motherfucker, but you're in the wrong sport, motherfucker. So, but I mean, that's just that aggression.
Play baseball. Yeah. No. Once I got a taste of football, it was all over for me. I was like, baseball, what?
Yeah, exactly, man. It's just no other feeling, no other way to get that aggression out like that. It's just a great feeling. Like I say, the dominance and all the things that come along with it is great. But now, like I say, they're making it they're trying to make it a little bit more female friendly because now that it's been a thing that they were talking about how women have just really become I forgot what the percentage is, but it's increased significantly over the last few years because, like I say, the scoring has gone up. And I got to find that study. But basically they're saying because the scoring has gone up, it has attracted more women now because they are not always into the nuances of the game. But it's easy to tell when a motherfucker scores a touchdown. You know, that's an easy thing to tell. You get in the fucking end zone. And so I think a lot of that's catering, trying to make the game more family friendly when it used to be, you know, more of a man's game. You know what I'm saying? It was just men watching, men like, you know, hey, that's where we go kick it with our boys. But now you see everything they push, the jersey sales with the NFL shop or whatever. It's all a lot of women's stuff that they're trying to push now and all these things like that. So they're trying to make it a family game, something that's not, it's not meant to be that. You know what I mean?
No, not. I mean, there's a point where you got to know where the line is drawn and, yeah, be welcoming to everybody. You know, put the thing up on the billboard that says, hey, you know, if you got somebody harassing somebody at the game, text this number, get security over there. That's all fine and stuff. But when it comes down to the ABCs of football, you just got to cut it loose sometimes and let it happen. Yeah. And, you know, training guys for the best ways to try to hit somebody, put your helmet across their chest and all that, that's all fine and stuff. Yeah. But on bang-bang plays, you can't hold these players accountable for a bang-bang play. Sometimes somebody moves left, sometimes somebody moves right, and it's not on purpose.
Yeah. All right. Wink he said, how do you feel about his trade thoughts for JJ?
Trade thoughts for JJ?
Yeah.
No. I'm sorry, man. It's not. You don't do that to a player like that. You don't. I mean, JJ from 2011 to 5 years, from 2011 to the 2 years, or not these last 2 years, but 5 years from 2011, he's put this city, he's put this team on his shoulders. You let him ride out his contract. And come contract time, if he's still dealing with one new injury after another, you sit down with his agent, you speak to him, and you see is there a limited role or is there, you know, hey, how about you part amicably? But you don't trade a player like that, especially with everything that he does for the city and everything that he's done for the city prior to like the Deshaun Watson era. Yeah. You just can't cut him loose. Yeah. Not in that fashion.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think mainly, like I say, as far as I don't think he'll come back the same guy, but I still feel like, you know, he's going to be a talent to be reckoned with. But at the same time, I think it would be another PR debacle for the Texans if that happened. And so that's my only thing about that. Like I said, I wouldn't be opposed to getting value from him, but at the same time, I wouldn't want to because of the, like you said, the things he did. So I'm kind of in between. It's almost like, what does he look like when he steps on the field next year before I can really solidify that. Speaking of another Jay, we're going to talk about CJ for a second. What do you feel like the situation with CJ Fedorowicz should be going forward?
I mean, CJ Fedorowicz, we've invested money into him, like prior to this season starting, and money was invested to him. So turning around and seeing him traded off right away, that's going to throw up red flags to teams, and they probably won't offer us anything more than a 5th round pick. Yeah. And if at that, you might even get like some backup to a backup to try to compensate like a 6th round pick. Yeah. But with CJ, you just got to ride it out, man. You ride out the next 2 years because most of Rick Smith's contracts, they're front heavy. So once you get through the first 2 years, you'll get through the bulk of that money. So for right now, CJ's on the team, and hopefully, you know, with Deshaun Watson back, he'll be led into better situations instead of getting nailed right in the head. Catch the ball.
Oh, man, yeah, that's crazy. So when you said, I'm trying to see, when you said his contract is only $10 million, he's only got guarantees for like 4. I thought he had like a $24 million contract or something like that. So, but like I said, I'm not sure exactly. It's 10-10 at halftime with the Saints and Falcons. All right. So another situation, speaking about guys getting paid and outrageous contracts and shit, the commissioner just got an extension for a big chunk of change. How do you feel about that situation?
Man, dude, like not even hopping on the everybody hates Goodell train. I think it's time for new blood. He's made his mark on it. You know, it was just time that maybe his contract comes to an end. They vote on somebody new to get in there and just see what something new can bring to the table. Yeah. Having Roger Goodell again, it just feels like we're at this point where he's going to stand his ground.
Oh, no. So we pausing up a second. Let me see what's shaking here. Okay, I don't know. It's freezing up a bit. Let me know if y'all can still hear me. I want to make sure everything else is copacetic. Make sure the Skype ain't freeze up on me. It's saying it's still going. Okay. Trying to figure out what's going on. This one froze up and shit. Well, we'll keep it going. Hopefully it'll tighten up here in just a second. But yeah, definitely. Yeah, it cut out. Okay, hold on 1 second. Let's get this situation fixed real quick. Yeah. But you know, with the Roger Goodell situation, man, like Tenny was saying, I think some fresh blood is required. I mean, you got owners who hate the dudes. You have players that hate the dude. Oh, never. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, let me come up with another phrase, man, because that shit just, yeah, that's a bad deal. I got to change that phrase. I don't want to say that one anymore. I got to think of something different. I'm gonna have to implement another statement in my head there. All right, cool. Hold on. I think we should be good. All right, let me see where we at. All right, cool. There we go. We got Mr. Tenny back. Yeah, cut out. You were talking about Goodell, and then it cut out on us.
He's just in this bad frame of mind, man. It's just like, you know, it's like he wants to prove everybody wrong. He just got to have his say over yours. Yeah. It's like arguing with a wall. I mean, you ain't never gonna get the right response back, and I mean, it's just silliness dealing with that man and watching how he runs his office and runs the league right now. And I think he's just got this iron fist mentality, and that's not what football needs right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and that's the thing. He's trying to, but then he's overstepping certain things. Like I say, it's been really, to me, since probably before that, but really since the Ray Rice situation, I think he's really been losing a handle on certain things because, you know, you're giving these suspensions and you're taking them away, and you got guys who are known to be beating up on their wives. You're giving them a game here, but then you're trying to backtrack and cover your ass. And like I said, it's just too much. And I think, like you said, some fresh blood would be good. My thing is, like, I like the like I said, even though I'm not super familiar with baseball, but I remember the baseball commissioner coming on. And he was just talking about some things and how he was trying to basically future-proof the game, you know, add things to it, make it more interesting. Like I said, I believe this year games were overall like shorter than they usually have been. Some things, like you said, you know, working on clock to speed things up. So just, you know, a lot of different little things to improve the game. I can't think of one thing personally that I felt like since Goodell has been in tenure that he's done that has actually improved the game, that has made it more watchable to me. You know, and like I say, what do you got?
That's part of the problem is that they got committees for that. They have the committee that votes on new rules and regulations, new ways of how to manage the clock. And, you know, like nowadays, you know, you'll see the referees, they're slowly catching on to it. Yeah. They'll call a touchdown and just let the review it. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you can prove it wrong, you can prove it wrong. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But, yeah, like I said, I just think it's a few more things. And I think that, man, speaking of replays and shit like that, I think that I think they need to open that up a little bit more, even though that could slow down the game. But I think you get certain calls you just got to get right. Like you say, those bang bang plays, shit like that. I think those should be, you know, acceptable for replay and say, okay, you know, okay, it wasn't as it looked a lot bad. It looked a lot worse than it really was. And because that's half the time that's what it is. And when you seeing shit full speed, you know, you see a motherfucker's head snap back or whatever it may be. And it could be he could have led with the shoulder. It might not be helmet to helmet. It could be, you know, high in the chest area, but it just looks so bad that you see a lot of those flags get called for plays like that. And I think that, you know, challenges should be allowed for shit like that to say, hey, you know, that really wasn't what it was. There's a few little things that I think they need to do, but I feel like for $200 million. Next season, Goodell better come with a fucking master plan to make this the best fucking season of football anybody's ever fucking said. I don't know what he's going to do to contribute to that, you know, to make the product on the field better because, you know, this is one of the worst. Like, I feel like probably the worst since I've been watching. And this motherfucker gets a $200 million extension. That shit is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, it's stupid. It's completely ridiculous that he got that kind of money. Yeah. And they should have just moved on from his ass and probably got somebody for cheaper.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he did with the new field goal rules, the new kickoff rules, and some other shit. Yeah, just little shit. But like I say, that to me, like I say, a lot of that was that the kickoff thing was again under the guise of player safety. I think that fucked a lot of guys over who were specialists, return specialists. And I'm not saying that people aren't returning the ball still, they are, but you don't see the likes of the Hesters and the you don't see them returning it like that, like they used to. Like I say, Hester or like damn, what's old boy? I can't remember his name right now. The human joystick.
Was it Priest?
Priest, yeah, Holmes. And them motherfuckers, like I said, you don't see those things anymore. Or guys who, well, not Priest was all around just a beast. He was a talented motherfucker. But like I say, Hester, that was his specialist returning. You know what I mean? That was his special. You're not seeing guys who can make a career out of that anymore because of shit like that. Unless for like fucking, like I say, what's his name was on the streak for a little bit, but it's still he kind of faded off. From KC. Hill, but like I say, man, it's just Dante Hall too. Yeah, Dante Hall was beat up.
Yeah, Dante Hall, there you go. That's who I was thinking.
Yeah, them motherfuckers, them motherfuckers there. They had a nice little team. Thinking about some of that old, them motherfuckers used to. Them motherfuckers was good. But like I say, we talked to the little football. I want to talk a little bit of Rockets because we got the Rockets game coming up.
All right.
Okay, that might be a phone call that I'm waiting for. Give me 1 second, man. I'm gonna
go ahead and knock it out, man.
I'm gonna pause this real quick. Well, I'm not gonna pause. I'm gonna still be here, but I'm gonna lower my volume. I gotta take a phone call. If y'all got questions, drop the questions in the chat. Like the stream.
Yeah, don't forget to like that stream, man. I be seeing a lot of y'all watching it, but y'all don't ever be liking it. Be like 7 or 8 likes. I need to put that thumbs up. And I can't see none of y'all too. So, I mean, any kind of questions that's going on, I won't be able to see it. The Skype don't have it pulled up. And if I try to pull it up on my phone, it just ain't going to happen.
Okay.
It'll be terrible.
All right. Well, this is what we're going to do. Okay, cool. I guess that's the benefits of text messages. Shit, I can just handle this conversation via text. But like I say, talking about the Rockets, man, my thing is, don't get me wrong, I love everything that's happening right now. I love everything that's going on. And but I'm not liking how the media is trying to give fucking CP3 a lot more credit than Harden for what's going on. They're not acknowledging the fact the motherfucker missed a good chunk of games, and Harden was still doing what the fuck he was doing with no issue. And now, of course, it looks even better with CP3 playing because, like I say, you get that continuous flow. There's no lull in that offense. But oh man, you say it's 24 people in the chat, no likes. What kind of shit is that, man? Sauce Nation, y'all, but man, let me find out it's a bunch of salt.
I called them out.
Yeah. Let me find out it's some salt in this motherfucker. Y'all better like this damn stream, man. But man, that's it. You say it's the beard. Wink says it's the beard. That's why they hate him, man. I'm sure you said somebody thumbs down. It's probably a Titans fan dip up in. The motherfuckers love.
They probably do. I done pissed off a lot of people. So if they come and try to hate on your channel, they probably see me and want to hate.
Okay, cool. That's 22 with 3 likes. That's all good, man. Here's the thing, man. If y'all gonna like, I ain't gonna force y'all to do shit y'all don't want. But I'm gonna remember that shit. Nah, but But like I say, yeah, man. I believe it might be the beard. The media might be afraid of it. They might have beard envy because they can't grow a beard like that. It's just such a fantastic beard. Because I don't know what else the dude has to do. You lead the league in points. You lead the league in assists. You're in the West with the best record. Fuck Kyrie in the East because he didn't add anything to a team that was already the #1 fucking team. You know what I mean? They had good depth. They had good players and shit already. Man, it's just like I say, people. This media narrative is one. I don't think people watch Houston games because they're too busy watching, fucking OKC lose, and they're not doing shit. Motherfuckers bragging about, OKC's 1 game out of the 8th spot. We're #1. What the fuck is you talking about? And you don't want to give us no love. People just, like I say, like big names and all that shit. People wanted to try to say, CP3, he's washed up, but now he's the guy that's doing it. Get the fuck out of here, man. Like I say, now he's giving the James a run for them assists, as the assist averages and everything. And I'm not knocking CP3. I love what he's bringing to the game, but I mean, I want James to get the fucking proper recognition that he is due. And I don't know what it's going to take. You know, people finally saying, is he in the, like, it was people not even mentioned. They were talking about Kyrie and LeBron for the fucking MVP consideration. While this motherfucker's putting up better numbers than the both of them. And now people are just now, well, is Harden currently leading? Because I think some poll came out and people,
looking from the outside in, I told you last time that I'm not a big basketball fan, but I do pay attention to all the talking shows, all the talking heads and stuff. Mm-hmm. I think it comes down to is that they don't respect his overall game. And I've seen this for the last few years. Everyone always has to throw a but into Harden's name. Yeah. You know, Harden is, doing all this, but his defense and this and that. Yeah. And just looking from the outside in, I think personally, these talking heads, they don't respect his overall game. And I don't think they respect the fact that this is, his third or fourth year in this conversation?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
When do you back off of him?
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. But the thing is, even when he wasn't in the conversation, he was still putting up great numbers. The thing is, like I say, people, me, like I say, man, if I say some shit and I'm wrong, I have no problem, going back on it. But you have these media motherfuckers, especially I want to say, was it last year? These motherfuckers all said, the Rockets won't even make the playoffs. Won't make the playoffs. Okay, you got James Harden in MVP consideration. I think we had the third seed last year. And people are still trying to compare Russell Westbrook, and because he's putting up fucking triple-double, he's fucking losing games. Russell doesn't have any talent around him. He had fucking Oladipo, who went to fucking Indiana, has been balling in fucking Indiana. If you don't pass the ball to motherfuckers, then of course you're not going to have any motherfucking talent. Man, Russell Westbrook's whole deal was to get those 10 fucking assists, and once he got his 10 assists, he does not fucking pass the ball. You know what I mean? It was last year, I think they said it was Harden had the most games of anybody with 15 assists or more. He had like 5 or 6. This was like midway through the season. He had 5 or 6 games with 15 plus assists when the next closest person might have had 1. But there's no love, no respect for that. He makes his team better. So the same people sitting here saying, that team's not going to make the playoffs. They only had 1 star on that fucking team and they made the playoffs. So who made that fucking team better? Who put them in that position? But nobody wants to admit that. Nobody wants to sit there and say, hey, Harden is what it is. All he does is go to the free throw line. They made a fucking rule to try to stop Harden from getting through the free throw line. He hasn't been shooting as many free throws, and he's still averaging his best numbers ever. He's still putting up his best numbers ever, minus the fucking free throw line shit. I mean, it's shots that he's taking where he's obviously shooting, and they'll call that shit on the ground and take the ball out. It's a bunch of shit that they do, and that just like I feel like there's some kind of I don't know if they don't feel like his game is exciting because he ain't killing himself trying to dunk on everybody like Westbrook, because the man can actually shoot the ball. The man actually has finesse, and you'll actually see him playing in the league for the next 10 years as opposed to Westbrook, who might have 2 or 3 years left until he starts fucking his knees up and shit. Like I said, it's bothersome. As a Houston fan, that shit bugs me more than ever, and I shouldn't be concerned with it. We shouldn't be concerned with it because we're leading the division. We're number 1 in the West. Like, nobody really fucking with us. Curry's out, so we really finna start stretching that lead a little bit. But you still got people talking about motherfuckers who aren't even, if the playoffs were happening today, they wouldn't even be in the playoffs. You got people talking about OKC and this fake ass Big 3 shit. You got like I say, you still got people talking about, with the Warriors, which is understood. They're last year's, champions or whatever. But you got Fugazi ass Durant and all his bullshit. You know what I'm saying? I watch these shows and I see how these lines, fucking LiAngelo Ball gets more fucking press.
Yeah, that's one thing too. I mean, you look at it, Alonzo Ball is just, from everything that I see on ESPN and shit, he ain't doing nothing. He ain't doing nothing, but they talking about him like he's going to do something. Like they just waiting for it. And then you turn around and like everything you're saying about Harden, this is sports wide. This is the Rockets, the Astros, and the Texans. Yeah. And don't nobody ever want to talk about us. Don't nobody ever want to acknowledge when we're doing something good. We get these hidden stats here and there, and then people have to stop to think, okay, well, I didn't know they were the only people doing this right now. Yeah. And I'm more than certain it's the same thing with Harden and the Rockets, is everybody just sees that they added CP3, but they didn't get Carmelo. So that's what they want to paint the picture as.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm laughing because Mr. Killer KB, you got a good point. Yeah, they came in there trying to compare Lonzo to Magic Johnson. When you got a motherfucker who is really finessing motherfuckers in his own lane, dog, doing shit that nobody else has ever done. with James Harden, but he gets no shine. Oh, Harden had a good. Oh, he dropped 56. Well, Harden had 56 tonight. Oh, LeBron James dropped 57 points. It's fucking Harden. He did that shit in 3 quarters. He played 2 minutes into like the fourth quarter when he dropped that 56-point game, and he really could have easily had an easy, cool 70 if he really wanted to. You know what I'm saying? People are hating. Oh, well, Kyrie's the most clutch guy. Well, you don't have to be clutch when you blowing motherfuckers out by 20. You know what I'm saying? Like anybody who comes up, and I saw what Duxie was saying that he said that they're talking about we're only playing bad teams. That's why I cannot wait until Christmas, because it's gonna be a Christmas present for the whole fucking world when the Rockets. I'm talking about when they I mean, I feel like it's going to be a 25-point victory against OKC, because what's going to happen is Russell Westbrook's going to feel like he has something to prove to get back in that conversation. James Harden's still in the MVP conversation. Russell Westbrook's nowhere near it. And he's going to feel like he has something to prove, and he's going to jack up shots. He's going to shoot them out of the fucking game. And I can't wait, because like I say, it's going to be another bullshit ass narrative that they're going to try to come up with, that they're going to try to push, that they're going to try to say, oh, well, and what they'll do then is, because OKC is under 500 right now, they probably still will be around that time. They'll lump OKC into the bad teams category, whatever it takes, just to not say, hey, you know what, Houston's pretty damn good right now. I don't see how it hurts to say such a thing when it's the fucking truth. The same thing when, like I say, all these outside motherfuckers, when we talk about the Texans, like I say, delusional fans, Titans fans, that, like, the motherfucker I was arguing with on a video today, you compared Matthews to fucking Hopkins. They're not even in the same zip, not in the same country, dog. Like,
really?
Oh, well, we didn't have Rashard Matthews, and like who gives a fuck? I don't even know who Matthews is, like that. Like, who the fuck is? He's not relevant, dog. Like, earlier it was Davis, it was Corey Davis, and he's gonna be the man. Get the fuck out of here. Hop's a crybaby. He's always crying for people. Look at his jersey. Look at what they're fucking doing. You can watch that shit. And they're holding him the entire fucking way. Whatever route he's running, it's a fucking extra hand pulling on that motherfucking jersey, and he's still snagging on motherfuckers, dog. But,
man, they said the same shit when Dre was playing, man. Yeah. Not a damn Titans fucking receiver is in the top 10 in the fucking history books. And Andre Johnson's got his name in them top 10 books. Oh, yeah. And he's got it in a few spots. Exactly. As far as their fucking receiving core and whoever they've ever had, they don't hold a light to what the talent we have. I mean, I would put Will Fuller up against some of their guys' numbers. Oh yeah, that's if you want to open the books.
Yeah, that's what I told him. I told him, man, Fuller's better than fucking Matthews, dog. I mean, shit, you just look at the touchdowns. Shit, I mean, if you just want to go at that, he's more of a contributor than fucking what Matthews is. And with the Mariota situation, it was funny. Like I said, I didn't even realize he only had 11 touchdowns, something like that. But when you start going back and thinking about it, like the Browns game and all that other shit, these motherfuckers wasn't putting up no point. How you don't put up no points on the Browns? But to think that, like I say, even if, like I say, if the Texans were winning and we were just squeaking by, I'll take the win. Of course, I'm gonna take the win, but I'm not gonna be I'm not gonna be proud of the product. I'm not gonna sit out there, we can blow out anybody. Nah, motherfucker, you got to really understand and know what your limits are. It's only 10 TDs and 12 picks. That's what I'm saying. But these motherfuckers marry Goda and dumb shit like this. Like, get the fuck out of here. You got real low standards, dog.
They fell in love with that Oregon fucking Mariota. Oregon, that's what they in love with. Yeah. As far as Deshaun Watson goes, I mean, you look at what he's done and you look at how he just stepped in his game. 7 games, 19 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Get out of my face with that, man. Your quarterback ain't do shit this year. He could finish the year and probably get 19 touchdowns total.
If he's lucky, if they make the playoffs. Shit, you know what I'm saying? So my thing is, he said Andre's still the best wide receiver they ever. Yeah, technically, Andre Johnson was the best receiver the Titans ever had, because he was there for a few minutes. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna talk about it. He was there for about 35 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So I'd have pieced up out that bitch too. I'm like, oh fuck no, what the fuck y'all got going on? Like I say, they arguing with the guy. He tries to blame the OC. This and that. Man, I don't want to hear shit.
It's not the OC. It's Malarkey's fault. Yeah. Don't go blaming the OC. It's Malarkey. Malarkey wants to run the ball first. Exactly. If y'all think Mariota's so good, y'all need to go call for a new head coach.
Yeah, malarkey full of malarkey, man.
He is. Straight up. That's why his ass got ran out of Jacksonville.
Straight up, dog. But my thing is, like I say, I told him, and I feel like, it is what it is. We accept the facts. We out the mix, and somebody's going to take the division. Somebody else going to take the division this year. But, speaking realistically, we're angry, we're upset, but I know for the next decade, maybe decade and some change, man, you might as well go ahead and hand it over now because the division is ours.
I will put it on my name. I will put it on my life. Deshaun Watson runs the South like Peyton Manning ran the South.
Oh, yeah.
No one's going to fuck with us for a long time.
Yeah, it's going to be a minute. Because like I said, one, you know, you got guys who went and they've gotten their franchise guys who I guess if they happy with, you know, Mariota, mediocre Mariota, that's fine. You see Jags fans acting like they love Bortles now. That's fine. And Indy's in a peculiar situation. And I'd like to see what happens with that, you know, coming into the offseason, coming into next year, what happens with the Luck and Jacoby Brissett situation. Because, you know, Indy didn't give a fuck. They kind of fucked Peyton over for everything he did with him. You know, when he wanted to come back and try to play, they just kind of cut his ass.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be too surprised. You know, Luck ain't done the shit that Peyton did, so I wouldn't be surprised if they were okay with moving on from him. But at the same time, they may have faith in him. They may feel like, you know, he's still going to come back and do something. But I just feel like I don't think he's going to be the same. Because it's the amount of time that he was out this year and just everything that went with it, something seems a little bit off. So I don't think that.
There was one thing about the Colts I could always respect for a little while after Peyton Manning was that Andrew Luck was a pretty decent quarterback. Yeah. And I think he's just down the road of David Carr. He's down that road. Yeah. He's been hit too much. Yeah. I think once he hits the field again, it's just going to be shell shock. He's going to be quick with his passes. He's going to be off the target, and I don't think he'll get that confidence back.
Yeah, man. Mr. Killer KB brought up a real good point, man. Man, he said I can really see us owning the conference with Brady and Big Ben towards the end of the end of the road, and that is the thing because at that point, I mean, who was you had that was the conversation when Deshaun was playing. You talking about him with the top tier guys. You talking about Brady. You talking about Roethlisberger, and at that time he might have been putting up better numbers than them, or he was equaling what they were doing as a rookie, and he's only going to improve. So, especially if he went and got the magic ACL, I can't wait to see that back in action. But I could definitely see that too. I
don't know if a lot of people have seen this video, but there's a video of Colin Cowherd. Mm-hmm. His reaction to Deshaun Watson when he got drafted. Yeah. I think his words were this. He said, there's some guys you just want to see win. Yeah. He says, if you look at Deshaun Watson and his body of work, you just want him to win. You look at him and you want him to win. Yeah. And how did he win the draft? He won the draft by not going first overall, quarterback off the board. He went third overall. Yeah. And where did he go? He went to the best place for him. Exactly.
That's why I like Cowherd, man. I didn't used to like him initially when he was on ESPN, but you see what's happening with ESPN. That whole shit is falling apart, man. Them motherfuckers just
somebody every week.
Yeah, it's just something. But I like Cowherd, especially since he's been on FS1. You know, he has some interesting takes, some real interesting. The way he frames his takes are always really interesting.
Oh yes.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So probably go for a couple more minutes here before we get up out of here. So if anybody got questions, y'all want to ask Tenny, y'all want to ask me, go ahead and drop them in. And then, like I say, y'all know when we get towards the end of the stream, we do the end of the stream roll call. So make sure you shout out where you're from. Make sure you shout out, if you're not from the city, let us know where you're at. If you are from the city, make sure you shout out your side. And I did say, I don't know if y'all caught me on the gram earlier, I did say we will have a Kush Den today. It'll probably be close to maybe like 10 o'clock, maybe 10:30. It'll be a late Kush Den, a later Kush Den tonight. So if y'all fucking with the Kush Den, make sure y'all tune in for that, or make sure y'all subscribe. If you're not subscribed, you can go to kushden.com. It'll just take you straight to the channel to make it easy. Or y'all can look into the description box. I want to say I put the link in the description box. So either one of those should get you there. We gonna talk about some interesting shit. Let's see. That Coward's just realistic about stuff and doesn't listen to hype. Yeah, he is. He like I say, you're right about that. He does break things down in a very interesting way, and he has some. Like I said, I just like his takes. It was a take he had that was real interesting on Dak and Wentz. He was talking about a Maserati and a Corvette basically. But I'm sure now that Dak's probably not even a Corvette. I'm sure he might be a Pinto or some shit. You know what I'm saying? So it is. It's fucking crazy. You say prediction on the Rockets tonight? What did I say earlier? I think I said on the video, I want to say I said like 125 to 102, something like that. Because you got to realize, without CP3, they blew the Jazz out by like 30. And the Jazz are one of the better defensive teams in the league. You know what I mean? And so, like I say, you know, Rudy Gobert was injured. You know, they're real hyped because they just came off the win against the Wizards. You know, they beat them like 119-69. But we're not the motherfucking Wizards. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not even close. You're not finna get that type of action. The Jazz don't have enough talent to handle the Rockets. Like I said, Gobert's good. I keep forgetting that other guy's name. But like I say, overall, they just don't have the pieces. They don't have the bench. They don't have the tools to be able to run with the Rockets. So I think it's gonna be another blowout, especially with CP3 on, because now when you have CP3 basically running your second team, it's not fair. You know what I mean? It's not fair for anybody. What are you going to do? Who are you going to bring off the bench to handle CP3? You know what I mean? You don't have anybody. And so that's the beauty of what the Rockets are doing right now, and that's what I'm just loving. I mean, the offense, I mean, it's unheard of. Like I said, it might go down as one of the number one. I think they're shooting for the number one offense in history. So that's definitely decent thing. You said be a beekeeper, Honcho, or a chicken farmer. That's a Kush Den question, man. We gotta say that for the den. I'm gonna remember that shit. I'm gonna remember that shit in the Kush Den, but I probably have to go with the fucking chicken farmer. Fucking, I don't want to get stung by motherfucking
man, the
bees.
motherfucker's nasty.
Yeah, that'd be fucking. I'd rather have fresh eggs and shit, but fucking bees getting my ass stung. Like, I've seen some motherfuckers do some amazing shit with bees. They none of the suit or nothing. They just reach into the fucking hive and get the fucking honey. Don't get stung, or maybe they get stung and they don't phase them. But fuck that, dog. You say you want to be a beekeeper? Man, I did. I heard that too. I heard in Conroe it's supposed to be snowing tonight. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not sure about that. I'm a good ways away from Conroe, thank God, and I don't want to see no motherfucking snow. I don't want no white Christmas. I don't want none of that shit. I'm cold enough as it fucking is, man.
It's been nasty and wet too.
Yeah. Oh man, so shit. Yeah. You said, with the bees, less shit and disease. Well, yeah, that is true. That's something to think. I have to look. Remember that question for the Kush Den, Dominic, and I'll give you a better answer. That I have to do some serious thought on that. But man, with that being said, man, I'm gonna get up out of here. Anybody you want to shout out to? Anything you want to say before we get out of here, Mr. Tenney?
Man, I want to shout out to everybody that supports your channel, man. Y'all keep this going. We got to get that Honcho up there. We got to get him notified. No, I noticed by everybody. I mean, when people go for Houston Rockets, Texans, baseball, once he starts getting into that a little bit more, anything Houston, we just need to get them saying, okay, let me go check out Ed's channel. Let me go check out Saucy Sports.
Man, I appreciate
y'all share this. Y'all put it on your Facebooks. You share it with your friends. You put it in your Facebook groups. Get the word out there, man. He's doing good things here.
Man, I appreciate that, man. I definitely appreciate that love and support, man. And yeah, I remember from way back, because you were one of the first people you hit me was talking about some Facebook groups and things, like I say. So I know Tenny been down with the flavor for a long time, and there's a lot of guys been down with the flavor for a long time. And I appreciate each and every one of y'all, especially the regulars. You know, even the new folks who just trying to get a feel for the flavor. I know sometimes it's folks that just kind of watch, they're not sure of what is what, but like I say, I appreciate that love to the fullest, man. And like I say, I enjoyed shit. It's something that makes me happy, so I want to keep this shit pumping. And I know, I do need that because YouTube ain't gonna promote, because every time I fucking pop up a video, the first thing I see is demonetized. And if they not making money off of shit, they ain't gonna fucking promote the shit. So it is what it is. I ain't tripping, but I got to keep it the same way. I can't change it up. I can't go PC. I can't be family friendly. We have to have a place where we can talk about the sports the way we want to talk about sports. You know what I mean? And that's what I feel. That's, like I say, I want to bring that kind of carefree feel. Like I say, when I say the Houston homeboy, like I say, I want to be just like your partner. You chop it up with sports. Like if you at work, or if you at the bar, or whoever it is, and you chopping it up with sports, or you just get into the conversation. That's what I want to bring to the table, man. So I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that support. Y'all follow those instructions that he gave y'all. You know what I'm saying? I would greatly appreciate it. But like I say, with that being said, at the same time, y'all make sure y'all check that description box. And you got Wink channel, you got Tenny channel. So make sure y'all go subscribe. I want to say it's a couple other ones in there, but I definitely want to shout out to, like I say, Tenny and Wink. They've been fucking with the flavor, adding some extra special flavor to the mix. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna keep this a regular thing with the both of them. Because like I say, I appreciate the love and support and what they bring, their ideas, you know what I'm saying? And you got to have a variety of ideas and thoughts on these teams. That's what it's all about. I say, man, if we're rooting for the same teams, hey, we're on the same team, same gang. We may have different opinions on how to get there, but hey, we all have the same purpose, we're rooting for the same goal. So man, like I say, make sure y'all go down, subscribe to Tenny channel, because I may be talking my shit. I may talk my trash, man. I talk a little bit of trash, but I ain't fucking with Tenny, man. Y'all gotta go fuck with that trash talk, man. Hey, I ain't nobody fucking with it, man. So make sure y'all go show some love and support. That shit gets you fired, make you want to throw on a helmet and some fucking pads and go out there line up. Look, fuck it, fuck JJ Amherst. Look, man, look, let's put me in the suit, man. Put me in the 59.
Everybody
I'm fine. that shit'll get you amped, man. So shit. But with that being said, man, I appreciate it. I appreciate each and every one of y'all for following through. Oh, I got to do a little bit of shameless self-promotion. Make sure y'all follow through that. Stay saucy. Get you a cup. Go get you a shirt. You know what I'm saying? Get you to support the Sauce Nation, man. Like I said, I'm a coffee drinker, so I got my mug on the way and definitely got the shirt on the way too. But definitely, I'll probably be using the mug way more than the damn shirt. I'm drinking coffee every damn day. But with that being said, man, I appreciate all of y'all. I'm chunking up the deuce. Y'all be cool like y'all be cool. And most of all, y'all stay saucy, man. Until next time, I'm out. Tenny, appreciate you for following through, man.
Yes, sir.